tucked in, I just want to talk a little bit about merged layers versus linked layers, because linked layers may come in handy when you're working on your poster, and they're going to come in handy on this poster too. So when I've made all my copies of all of my wonderful vegetables in here, we merged layers when we made our paper background into one layer. And that's handy because in this case, we always want that paper background to be together. Similarly, my radishes, they're kind of set where I want them. And it's kind of a pain to have radish top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. So instead of having each of them be on their own layer, I want to take these and I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to click up until I've got those 4 layers selected. And so I want to make those one layer actually, rather than having them be 4 separate layers. So I'm going to click my little lines here to pop up my menu, and I want to merge those layers together, the ones that are selected. So that's Command E. So that says radishes bottom right. I'm going to double click the name and I'm just going to get rid of bottom right and I'm just going to put radishes. Don't actually know if it's spelled right, but close enough for me. Save that. Now I've got my corn copy, and my pumpkin. Now I do want these guys to move together as one unit, but I'm not 100% sure that I am happy with how maybe my scale is or my positioning of them. I might want to change it later. So I don't actually want to merge them, because then that's going to be more of a pain if I decide to change anything later, because then they're kind of set together as one unit. So instead of merging them into one layer, I want to link them so that if I move one, I'll move all of them. If I scale one, I scale all of them, unless I choose to unlink them. And so then that just makes it a little bit easier to decide for yourself. It was like grouping and ungrouping in Illustrator. You can work on one piece or the whole piece. You're not making any irreversible changes. So again, I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm going to select that I've got those 3 layers selected. But instead of going down here to merge, right here, I want to hit link layer. And again, in the way that you can do this multiple ways in Photoshop, you can also click this little, it's supposed to be a chain link. Now you'll notice that now we've got this little link thing next to those layers. And they've stayed as individual layers. But if I grab my move tool and I move my pumpkin, everybody moves together, which is terrific. So if I set my text, which is going to be my next section, and I need to move this guy up, or I need to move it down to accommodate the text better, I can do it with just moving one of them. I don't have to select them all. But if I then decide that I want to make the pumpkin a little bit smaller, I can unlink it, and I can make my changes, and then I can relink it. And it hasn't merged everything into one layer that then if I wanted to change one of my radishes, I'd have to go ahead and break it back out of the hole again, which is more steps than I want to take. So sometimes linking layers can be a nice alternative to merging if you might want to make some changes later. Now, on the other hand, if you've got 100 different layers, sometimes merging makes sense because it just makes the document cleaner and easier to work with. So pick the tool that's right for what you're trying to do.